My name is David Henderson. I work for Community Services Associates, and I have the pleasure of being able to work in the Sea Pines Forest Preserve. The Forest Preserve was formed in 1970 when Charles Frazier, the original developer of Sea Pines, filed restrictive protective covenants that determined what could and could not be done in the Forest Preserve. No traditional development, residential, commercial, that you think of when you think of the rest of the community is allowable in the Forest Preserve. We're almost 606 acres in size, which is almost a square mile in size. Think of it as the Central Park of Hilton Head Island. If you go to Hilton Head Island and bring up Google and look down from about 10,000 feet, we are the one patch of green space that doesn't have homes, roads, and/or golf courses on it. As I like to say, you can almost see us from space. We are almost a square mile. We're the largest tract of undeveloped land that is remaining on Hilton Head Island to this day. In 1998, we were designated by the Audubon Society as an important bird area, a very prestigious designation in which they recognize that the Forest Preserve is a valuable piece of habitat, especially for migratory birds as they are coming back and forth during their migrations, a place where they can rest, recover, and get some food as they continue along their way. We also have in the Forest Preserve a shell ring that has been dated to be almost 5,000 years old, which is about the time the Great Pyramids were being built. It's a fascinating story in which the native peoples at that time purposely constructed this nearly circular mound of shells that was there for potentially various uses, including ceremonial, religious, but we do know that they occupied it for some time. They then left it. Their ancestors then came back thousands of years later, and they never really added to the ring again, but we know that it still had cultural significance to them because they buried their dead or cremated their dead at the shell ring. It's a great spot. It's a 5-minute walk from Fish Island. Again, it's about 5,000 years old, the time they were building the Great Pyramids, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. When you come to the Forest Preserve, what you can expect is a lot of hiking and walking, photography, picnicking, fishing. We have two main entrances. One is off of Greenwood Drive, the Greenwood walking entrance. We also have another entrance, or the driving entrance, also off of Greenwood Drive. Depending on what you want to do and how you want to experience the Forest Preserve, both are very convenient and very easy for you to get into and enjoy. We currently have over 4 miles of hiking trails. We will soon be adding to that, so there will be additional miles of hiking trails for people to experience and to enjoy. We have about 2 miles of driving roads, drivable roads, where if you prefer just to experience from your vehicle, you could do that as well. In 2016, the Forest Preserve, like all of southern Beaufort County, was impacted pretty significantly by Hurricane Matthew. And there were thousands of trees in the Forest Preserve alone that were either damaged or destroyed. During the cleanup process, we decided to make lemonade with those lemons. And so we were able to, during the cleanup process, to improve the habitat. And we were able to improve the habitat by getting a lot of those trees that were down or damaged out, that then let more sunlight hit the ground, which then allowed for a greater diversity of herbaceous plants, which are very beneficial to wildlife, to have the opportunity to grow. In order to maintain those early successional conditions, the Forest Preserve, beginning in 2021, began using prescribed fire as a management tool as part of our overall land management plan. It is the first use of prescribed fire in the modern history of Hilton Head, and it is challenging because of all the surrounding development and all the surrounding homes. But through careful planning and very deliberative implementation, we have been able to successfully reintroduce fire to the Sea Pines Forest Preserve. I say reintroduce because we know that the native peoples that were here prior to us routinely used prescribed fire for a variety of reasons. And then also, when I talked about the shell ring earlier at almost 5,000 years old, the archaeologists that conducted that study told me that during their studies, they determined that there was fire that went over the foundation of the shell ring almost 5,000 years ago. So Dr. Sanger always liked to tell me that I was not the first one to use prescribed fire in the Sea Pines Forest Preserve. We hope that you get an opportunity while you're staying in Sea Pines to come visit us here in the Sea Pines Forest Preserve. You can park and take a short walk. You can drive in and drive out. whatever meets your needs. But it is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful piece of habitat, and we hope that you get a chance sometime during your Hilton Head experience to come by and say hello.